Hi there, thanks for tuning in. My name is Angela. Today I want us to look at the symptoms of cancer to watch out for so that when our body starts to exhibit these symptoms that we take action quickly and get medical attention. So the World Health Organization lists cancer as a leading cause of death worldwide. In 2020, nearly 10 million people died of cancer, and the most common cancers are breast cancer, colon cancer, rectal cancer, bowel cancer, and prostate cancer. So there's over 200 types of cancer, and each type of cancer has specific symptoms. But what we want to look at today are mostly the general symptoms of cancer that all of the cancer types exhibit, and also some specific ones. It is distressing when one gets a diagnosis. I can tell you that my entire life just came crashing when I heard those words from the oncologist. But it is something that if we're proactive, we can actually give ourselves a chance, because the statistics is not showing that it used to be 1 in 10 is likely to have a cancer diagnosis, then it changed to 1 in 5, and it's now coming down to 1 in 2 in their lifetime is likely to have a cancer diagnosis. So it's something we need to be proactive about, understand our body, look after ourselves, because our bodies actually have a way of telling us, hey, I need some help here, I'm not doing quite well. Those are the signs we see. And when we start to feel like that, let's not delay, let's get medical attention. For myself, 8 months before I was diagnosed with stage 3 cancer, I already started to notice things weren't quite right, but it wasn't enough for me to actually go seek medical attention, because I was saying, oh, maybe because I'm anemic, that's why I feel tired. But knowing what I know now, I should have gone to the doctors immediately. So that's what I encourage us to do. Also, just to add that having any of these symptoms doesn't automatically mean someone has cancer, but it is a chance to just go get the doctors to do their investigation and do their job. Let the doctors find out the root cause of the symptom, especially if there's no underlying health issues to warrant having those symptoms. So the first sign I want to talk about is tiredness. I felt this symptom 8 months before I became unwell. I started being tired a lot. I improved my sleeping hours from maybe 7 to 8 to even 9 hours at night, and I'll still wake up tired. And all I did was ask myself, why am I so tired? Maybe I should eat more vegetable, because I'm anemic. I should have gone to the doctor at that point. I didn't. I just tried to manage it myself. I put it down to my busy lifestyle and schedule. But really, that was my body telling me that I'm struggling. And that was 8 months before. And when I got the diagnosis, it was at stage 3. And it was an aggressive, fast-growing one. So if I had sought help at that time, probably I wouldn't have been bedridden by the time I got to the doctor. So that's one sign to pay attention to. If one is feeling unnecessarily tired after a good night's rest and no explanation for it, fatigued all the time, get the doctors to have a look. The next symptom I want to talk about is unexplained pain in any part of your body. For me, it was in my abdomen. Woke up with this pain, didn't know what it was so intense. I managed to go back to sleep that night, and then I was okay for 1 week. The next week, it woke me up again one night, and after that, I just went straight to the doctor. I said, no, this pain, I didn't even recognize it, didn't know what it was. It was a lot of pain for half an hour, and then I'll be relieved. So I went to the doctors, and that's when they started their investigation. So if you feel pain in any part of your body, again, it might mean nothing. It might just be something that they can explain, but get the doctors to have a look and just get to the root cause of that pain, because that can sometimes be a sign that there's something not quite right at that point where you're feeling that unexplained pain. So the next symptom I felt again was weight loss. I'd started seeing the doctor, I think it was 2 weeks later. I noticed I just dropped about 7 kilos, and I said to him, why have I lost 7 kilos? He said, oh, you're above your BMI anyway. I said, yeah, that's not the point. I struggle and work hard, working and exercising to lose 3 kilos. Let's say preparing for a wedding. Why would I lose 7 kilos without trying? So That's a red flag. If you've lost weight, you've not exercised, you've not changed your diet, there's no underlying health issues to explain why, do get your doctors to have a look. It might mean nothing, but get them just to confirm. Unexplained bleeding in any part of our body is a red flag, really, because blood shouldn't be leaking into our stool if there's no underlying health issues like pile or in our urine, or when we're washing our mouth, heavy bleeding, or even when not on a period, bleeding as a woman. Get it checked, let the doctors find out why there's this leak, because sometimes it might be an indication that things are not quite right. Lump in any part of the body is a sign that things are not right. It could be for breast cancer, for example, for both male and female, it could be a lump around the breast. Always get it checked so that the doctors can make that decision that there's no problem at all. It could be lump in any part of the body, maybe around the lymph nodes area. Get the doctors to have a look and just investigate. Sometimes they might take a biopsy of that lump, just to a sample of the tissue, to make sure, test it, to make sure that there's no problem with it. So get them to investigate. So constipation and diarrhea are also red flags that things are not quite okay. So get the doctors to investigate if you haven't gone for even a few days, because really, when we go to toilet, we're getting rid of carcinogens and all the bad stuff that our body has sort of come in contact with, either by food or the environment. That's our way of passing it out. So if you carry that around for too long, when it should actually come out of your body, it starts to cause a lot of other health issues, not even just from cancer perspective. So it's something that needs to be investigated, because there should be free movement there. So if it's not working as it should be, get the doctors involved, because it might be a problem with the bowel or the colon, but just get them to get to the root cause of it. Also, diarrhea, passing stool too frequently, might be a sign that something is wrong, especially if there's no explanation for it. Get the doctors to investigate. Diarrhea by itself, even if it's not linked to cancer, can get someone dehydrated and it's really dangerous. So if it's persistent, then get the doctors to just have a look that there's nothing wrong. Bloating is another sign. If you're feeling bloated all the time and there's no underlying health issues to explain it, then get the doctors to have a look and do their investigation. So mole in the skin is something to look out for. If you all of a sudden find a new mole in your skin that you didn't have before, get the doctors to investigate it. If you already have one and it's changing in size, also get the doctors to have a look, do some tests just to determine why it is growing or changing. Sometimes it might become sore as well and start to ooze. All of those might be signs that there's problem with the skin. Get the doctors to have a look. Having a rash that won't go away or a bruise on the skin, under the skin, might be a sign that you probably need to get the doctor to investigate. So don't leave it, just get them to just determine why you're having that rash persistently or bruise under your skin. So a cut that doesn't heal over time is a red flag that things are not working properly. So it might, even if it's not cancer, it might be a sign of something like diabetic. So get the doctors to have a look. But from a cancer perspective, it might be that the body is busy fighting the cancer and trying to deal with the cancer situation and has neglected this process of healing our body. So we do need to get the doctors involved. Let them do their test and just see that all is okay. Do get the doctors involved if you have indigestion or heartburn that you can't explain, is not linked to any underlying known health issues. Get the doctors to investigate. This is one symptom I felt, and my food wasn't digesting. I was having heartburn, and after about 6 hours it will come back out, and subsequently I stopped eating because it was such a pain to eat. So get the doctors involved. Let them investigate if you're feeling this for over a period of time. So persistent cough as well might be a sign that things are not okay, maybe with the lungs or the throat. So get the doctors to investigate. A cough shouldn't last more than a week or so in normal circumstances, but if you have this lasting cough that's not going away, get the doctors to have a look and just rule out any problems. Breathlessness is another one. If you're feeling breathless for no reason, get the doctors to have a look. Asthma and lung condition might make people feel breathless. If there's an explanation for it, that's fine. But if there's no underlying health issues and you're feeling breathless all the time, get the doctors to investigate and see what's going on. Changes in the tone of your voice as well is something you should get investigated. It might again indicate a problem with the throat. Get the doctor to find out what is going on. Let them investigate. Another symptom to look out for is heavy sweating, night sweats. So I experienced this towards the end. I would wake up with heavy sweating, my clothes soaked, drenched in sweat, pillowcase, bed sheets, and that's unusual. If there's no explanation for it, you're not premenopausal as a woman or going through menopause, then get the doctor to investigate just to understand why you're having those heavy sweats. Community stigmatize cancer, so people tend to suffer in silence or don't want to seek help because they don't want people to know what they're going through. But it is really a bit careless if we take that approach, because with cancer, time is of the essence. So I recently heard of someone who sadly passed away. The doctors were seeing her for the first time when she was already at stage 4. She had been unwell, but she was praying and hoping for divine healing. What I would say is I'm a person of faith as well, and my approach to it is I would pray, but I would seek medical advice as well. When I started to feel unwell, I was praying that hopefully nothing is wrong. But when I felt like things weren't quite right, I went to the doctor. Whilst they were doing their investigation, I continued to pray. Initially, the results should come back with nothing, clean. But when it came back and the diagnosis was cancer, I changed my prayers to, Lord, give them wisdom to know what to do with me, with this situation. So it is good to involve them as soon as possible, because that can mean the difference between life and death, surviving and not surviving. For this person, the doctors couldn't even treat. It was too late. There was nothing they could do. Whereas if it was caught earlier, maybe, who knows, they would have been able to make a difference with the treatment. That's how I see it anyway. That's my take on it. Look after yourself, don't be careless, and seek medical attention if you think you need it. If it's like I said, get the doctors to investigate a million times in this video, and that's because it is really important that we get the doctors involved once we feel things are not quite right. So thanks for watching. Click on the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to this channel. Also, share this video with anyone you think it might benefit, and leave your comments. I'll try my best. The notification bell as well.